What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Trueflutter podcast, where we talk about love, dating, and everything in between. I'm your host, Bibi, and today
we have Naz.
Wow. And today I have what do I call you guys?
Two new
faces. You guys are not new.
Nah, Dari
is used to the podcast, yeah?
Yep.
Dari, not
Dari, you're new to your podcast?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, so we have two new faces.
Yeah.
Right. So one person is Trueflutter himself.
Yeah.
And then our other guest is in our Trueflutter ad. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, I'm so sorry for you.
If you know, you know.
I'm just going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Dari.
Hi, my name is Naz.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
her name is Cynthia.
Hello.
I'm Cynthia. And I'm a friend of the Trueflutter family.
And I, for one, did not recognize who Cynthia was. I didn't
Shame
know.
on you now.
As in premium shame.
I mean,
Jeez.
premium shame, bronze shame, silver shame, whatever the shame is. I accept the shame, but she looks very, very wonderful in person.
Yes.
I don't know if this camera is going to change how she looks when you get to watch
looks
the
so good.
podcast.
It's okay. I'm still pretty.
She looks very different.
On and off.
Wow.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for
We're happy to
having
have
me.
you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so in today's episode, we're going to be talking about different things: long distance relationships, settling, compromising, social media, the effects of social media on our relationships, the whole 9 years. So before we get into it, who has been in a long distance relationship and who has not been in a long distance relationship?
Oh, I've been in a couple.
I've been in a couple too.
I've been in one, never again.
You've been in what?
One, never again.
I've been in
Never
two
again.
relationships all my life.
I don't know them in long distance. Yeah.
No.
Wait, so
Very-
when you say one, what was that? Was that Lagos to...
Lagos to Cyprus, where
Kampala.
Turkey.
Yeah, for me, okay. I think for me, I think I had the last one I had was actually a very bad experience, and I just thought myself that I was in. Before I got married, I said I was going to have a long distance relationship. Do you know why? Because for a full year, we spoke for at least 2 hours a day while she was there. And when she came to Nigeria, she didn't spend that time with me. And I felt very betrayed because I guess maybe she was just using me to pass time.
So you felt like it was a total waste of time?
It was a total waste of time. But when she now went back, she wanted to
Very
repeat the
loaded.
same thing. And I said, okay, now I wasn't having it because I'd invested a lot of my time over the year. You know the way people come back in December. I just got back in December, January to December. And it was just a different, it was just a different
Vibe.
experience, different vibe. So yeah, it was a really bad experience for me. And I said, man, no more long distance relationships.
I can relate 100%. The guy that I dated went this our long distance relationship for 11 months. 11 months, so we were doing fine. When he came back, broke up that month. The vibe just wasn't the same.
Yeah,
It just
I mean,
wasn't
I
the
hear
same.
that sometimes, like they say, the magic is in person. So for some people, people connect remotely, but when they're in the same space, it's like, shh,
Yeah.
who are you?
Yeah.
Feels like a totally different person. I don't know. I'd say my experiences have been slightly different. And I'd say I've had really good long distance relationships. One lasted for maybe 2 to 3 years. We didn't even meet until the end of the second year.
Wait, you guys didn't know each other before the relationships? Like,
Nope.
you didn't meet each other?
Nope.
That's a lot of trust, though. That's a lot of trust.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you've met each other and then one person has to travel, then, you've already established something. But to meet somebody from a distance and actually get into a serious exclusive relationship, that comes with a lot.
I mean,
That's a lot.
that's what I would always suggest
is
to
it-
everybody. Make sure you have one meeting first. I mean, to be sure.
But it lasted 2 to 3 years. So meeting does not really
But it's
mean...
still
There's video
Spoiled,
call
so-
now. There's video call. You can see the person now. So it's not
It's
like...
different, though.
It's,
Is it
it's
different?
very different.
It's very different.
It's different.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, that person could be having like 20 video calls a day. Have you on schedule? You're number
No,
3.
no. I think that takes too much. That's too much energy. For
You
people,
know-
and the funny thing is that when you know. People think that people in long, and that's maybe one of the misconceptions about long distance is that because you're far, that person could be into a lot of things. Yes, they could, but
When
there's a
someone is
connection.
down
Like
for
when
you.
something's off, you would know.
You know.
You know.
Yeah. And when someone
So-
is down for you, you know.
Yes.
You just know. Right.
So
But
whether
there's some
they're
people-
next door, they live next door, or they're a million miles away, you'd still
Yeah.
feel the connection.
So if you had another opportunity, would you do that again?
Yeah, totally.
Long distance, yeah.
Yes, it's a lot of work, but so is every relationship, right? Yeah.
I think long distance relationships are extra work.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't agree. I feel like every relationship is unique. There's no ideal situation, right? You could be in a relationship where the lady's earning more. Your challenges are different from the one where, I don't know, the girl is older than the guy, or you're married, you're in a relationship with somebody who is disabled. It's, there's no ideal situation. It's just what your situation is. So your own challenges are unique to your situation. So the same way you have to work in all of these other situations, the same way you have to put in work in your...
I feel like Cynthia has had just one too many adventures.
I'm telling you that with long distance, I'm like the poster child. Like, it was totally my thing. It was totally my thing. Even I, at some point, began to wonder, like, why do I like to date people from a distance? Doesn't mean I can't tolerate people in my space, or...
You're meant for international things.
Huh?
You're meant for international things.
International lifestyle. Jackpot in my blood. So I was meant for jackpot.
Yes.
So, yeah. It comes with a lot of trust. That's standard.
Yeah.
Because if you can't trust anyone, then what's the point? And then another misconception is that people... I don't know. People just feel like it can't work.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible, or it's hard, or it's extra difficult. Like I said, every relationship is difficult. I've seen a few success stories. I've heard a few success stories, and I think it's the amount of work that you both put in. Both people have to be intentional first to begin with.
Intentionality.
I knew you were going to echo that word.
Yes,
No,
it's true every time.
Like, I'm not seeing you. I'm not waking up next to you. Then you have to be doing more. Like, we have to be double calling on video, because like I need to know everything you're doing before you post that picture. Send it to me. Yeah, it's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have to find ways to connect beyond the ordinary, because I'm not seeing you, so we have to make up for it.
And then, like, you have to overcompensate sometimes for things like how you're spending your time. Like, your partner has to, if you're dating somebody in Lagos, you can say, oh, I'm in traffic. Like, even if you don't speak to the person for like 4 hours, you'll be like, oh, I was in traffic. But if you're dating someone in like Australia and the person hasn't heard from you for 4 hours and no communication, and you're like, oh, sorry, I was in traffic. Is that what with traffic?
What? They can't even relate.
Yeah, exactly.
That Australia story is even a different ballgame entirely, because first
Australia,
there's a huge...
the person might as well be in Mars, because
there's a huge time difference issue. You probably only have like a 4-hour window during the day to communicate. So, yes, I feel like, I don't think I'd do that.
Okay, let me just go around the table and ask everybody. Naz, if you could be in a long distance relationship,
why do I have to always be number one?
Will you do it again, or will you consider being in a long distance relationship?
I've not been in a long distance relationship before.
Would you do it?
Would I be in a long distance relationship? If I feel like it's the ultimate.
If it was Rihanna now, Rihanna says it's Nas.
Nope.
And she's not ready to move to Lagos now.
Nope.
You don't find Rihanna attractive.
Nope.
Nas.
Okay, so who do you find attractive? Let's even start from there.
Who do I find attractive?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, why me now?
No, I want to know now.
What's it for you?
Because what I'm trying to do is paint the picture of the ultimate person for you, and I want to see if you'd be able to.
I find Cynthia
we need to make
very
that compensation.
attractive.
Okay, so if Cynthia was
Cynthia road track, she's too old for you. Cynthia road track is old. I don't even know how old she is these days. I haven't seen a recent picture of her.
Which Cynthia are you talking about?
The one sitting right in front.
That's okay.
I was wondering what are you talking about?
I mean, take a look at that gown. Take a look at the hair.
Yeah. That's not what we're here for.
Don't mind
Okay, sorry
him.
about that.
That's not what we're here for.
Because I'm here in Lagos.
Would I
Yeah,
go
will you
into a
consider?
long distance relationship?
Yeah.
I do not think so. Why? Because, I mean, like she says, every relationship has something that is unique to that relationship. And I don't think I'm built with the tools to hold on to a long distance relationship. Or I don't feel like this is the time in life, because, I mean, time is something that also has to play.
Yeah.
What time in life are you? Are you set up? Are you going through some things? Are you, I
Please,
don't
what are
think
the
this
tools?
is the time.
You said tools. I'm curious. What are the, you can't trust somebody from a distance.
I feel like you're coming for me today.
I'm actually very interested. What are the tools?
Well, let's be real, right? Let's be very real. Let's be very realistic.
We're listening.
The only tool is sacrifice.
Oh, so
No,
For long-
I feel like
for-
it's the knacks that he's talking about.
So Really?
Yeah, that's what I feel. See, you said how else? I think that's what it is. It's okay, Nas. You can say it.
I mean, it's okay. Like,
It's okay.
Yeah. Basically, that's one of what we're speaking about, and emotional. What's the word?
I mean, I don't know.
Emotional support. Sometimes you just don't feel the same way. Some of us are more physical, right?
Yeah, I was about to say maybe your love language is physical
Thank
touch.
you.
So,
Physical
a long
touch.
distance relationship won't work.
And quality time.
Quality time is my love language.
It's your love language.
Yes.
And then you get tired of video
there are
calls.
ways that you can do it, right? So, yeah.
I'm interested in knowing.
We're
You
on
can
the phone
meet
together,
me
we're spending
halfway.
time together. Like if you lived on the island, I live on the mainland. We still have to find a way to incorporate quality time. Anyways.
Tell us.
So we're spending time on the phone. Like we can have virtual movie dates, Netflix dates. Okay, we're watching this movie at 7. We both, come on, man. There are ways that you can connect
Apart from that, meet in
virtually.
Surulere.
Huh?
Apart from that, you can meet in
Meet in
Surulere.
Surulere.
Meet halfway. If one person is in Aja, one person is in Keja, people should meet.
I think you've given somebody a lot of excuses about how you can meet the person in Surulere because you were laughing just now.
Okay. I think we're done with this long distance relationship talk. Personally, I'm never doing it again. No, if you are not, in fact,
Who is that guy?
I personally feel like
One
that is
guy like
Cynthia's
this.
jam.
Long distance relationship.
Like that's your jam. If someone were
Right,
living
Naz
in,
shooting the
if
shot.
you're
Naz
living
is trying to shoot
here
the
in
shot at
Lekki,
Cynthia.
and someone were living, say, Agege somewhere, just be like, you know what? Don't worry. Let's just do it on video call. I want to come and
I
see
think
you.
it's
I
not
think it
long
just means
distance
that
enough.
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably just very trusting, right? Yeah, because some people wouldn't do it just because it's like I'm not seeing you, I don't know what you're doing.
Or
So
you,
I
or
would,
you
that's
want
why I
to
wouldn't
be,
even
or you want to
consider
be in
it.
a relationship and still have your space.
There's probably that too.
I mean,
There's
I
probably
knew-
that too, because even I have questioned like why am I comfortable in that space? So it probably is that.
And I
too.
think it could be because you're independent. Like you're not dependent on anybody for emotional. Like of course the normal girlfriend emotional support.
I'm
but
on
then,
forget to.
but
I'm
then
dependent too.
you are.
I am, but it's I guess because the first one took up very well. Because if it had happened like yours, it probably would put a bad taste in my mouth for it entirely. But I had a good experience the first time. It just ended because life happens. You dig? So I mean, if whoever is in it, I would say go for it. If you feel like it, and then you always feel it in your gut. If it's working, it's working. If it's not, it's not.
All right, so Bibi passed the first question to me. She says, would you be in a long distance relationship or not? I'm passing the next question to you. If you had 2 relationships in front of you, one long distance and one
That's not right.
and one
That's so not fair.
here I am, send me. Which one would you go for?
No. I didn't. That's.
I think it depends on the person. I don't think it's a thing of
Exactly.
distance first.
So if you put a douche in front of me,
something about me.
who's here physically?
Something tells me she would go for the long distance.
I don't think so.
No,
I think
no,
it just
no.
depends on the guy.
I think it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying you have somebody in front of you and you have somebody who's far, of course you would assume you take the person who's close. But what if it's a douche
Yeah.
that's here?
What if it's not even your
Okay.
spec? But I haven't going far. What if it's not even your spec? What if it's not even somebody that you're attracted to? Because attraction
So
is
I
important.
mean, everyone knows that an ideal situation would be somebody who was close. But if life serves you someone who's far away, why not?
That's
So
actually
there's
a
no
good
yes or
question,
no.
Naz. Anyway, Naz's question is going to lead me to our next question. So it's the general topic is on this question is settling and compromising. So do you think there's a difference between settling and compromising when it comes to a relationship or dating?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah? What's the
Settling.
difference? Settling, compromising.
I don't even understand the question. To
No.
start
I
with.
think
Is
there's
there
a
a
difference.
difference between
So
settling for
compromise-
somebody and compromising
For
to be in
somebody.
a relationship with somebody? Yes.
I'll let her answer. Maybe from her answer, I'll get.
I feel
I'll
like
get the question.
compromise is meeting someone halfway. Or no, not halfway. Like both of you finding a halfway point, right? But settling is come on, this is not my
That
spec.
halfway point, doesn't that mean you still have to settle?
No, it's not settling.
So it's
No. We both find common ground. So that's common ground. Settling is this doesn't feel right. It's against my values, against my morals.
But
like
I'll
he's
still go
not
for
it,
it.
he's nothing. But you know what? I'm 60 and I desperately need to get married, so I'll settle. That's what settling is. It's totally different from compromise. I feel like every successful relationship comes with compromise. But settling, I don't know.
Yeah, what do you
I
think?
think I get the point.
Settling is the evil cousin.
Yes, I mean, settling is. I think it's not what you want, but you would have to do it because you're under pressure to do it to be in a relationship. You know, I want to settle down with this person, even though she's not my spec.
No, not that settled. That settled down is different.
No, that's well, but
But then even the phrase itself, that's settled down. It just has this. Oh yeah, now.
No, it's like how no now. So I'm sure if you check in the dictionary, there's settle, there's settle down, and they all have different meanings. So settle down as a phrase is different from the word settle. Mm-hmm. That's settling. Bruv, no. No.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to settle?
Never stop, never settle.
Wow, dear.
Shame. You put that on a t-shirt.
Never stop, never settle.
Have you? Baby?
Yes, once.
You've had to
I'm never
settle.
doing it again in my
Why?
life.
Why?
I don't know. Do you know? It was like, okay, when he came into my life, he was like, you know, these people that are too good to be true. You're like, I knew, like my intuition is strong. I knew that there's something here, like there's something, but. And then with every mistake he kept on making, I was like, I'll just shift, I'll just adjust. I'm like,
Yeah.
By the time I looked at it, I was like, right, this guy has changed my whole life. Like, what's the meaning of
Like,
this?
who are you?
Do you understand? Like, I lost myself in that relationship. And since then, I'm like, if it's not this, like, there's certain things that are necessary for me.
That's
there's certain
standards.
things that
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
But you see that settling, I can never in my life settle again because what is the worst thing. It's the worst thing.
So, since we're talking compromise and settle, so you know how people have a list, right?
Yeah.
So you would assume that if the person doesn't tick certain of those boxes on that list, you're settling. That's what you would assume that is.
Okay, when it comes to having a list, I think there's the want list.
Shouldn't that be compromise?
List.
Shouldn't that be compromise?
I don't think.
What's that?
So that's the thing. It depends on what it is. Certain things would be compromise. Certain things would be settling.
Yeah.
For example, I feel like if it's value based, it's settling, and that's all I can think of. Maybe for me personally, that's what it would be. If it's value based, then I'm settling. If it's anything else that's physical or material, then it's compromise.
I think at some point we all just finally decide to settle. Yeah.
So
and if you do not settle, you're just going to keep on going in an endless loop.
No, but then is that settling or compromise?
Now? You know, there's compromise, there's settling.
Yeah, I honestly don't get the difference.
You know what?
between
You don't
the
think
two.
there's a clear difference?
I don't think there's a clear difference.
Compromise.
I feel like there's a spectrum, yeah? So compromise is like the beginning, and but as you keep going, as the needle keep going,
Settlement is in the definition of compromise.
Say that one more time.
Compromise is an agreement or settlement of a
thank you.
dispute, an expedient acceptance. Compromise is the expedient acceptance of standards that are lower than desirable.
Whoa, compromise.
That's compromise.
I think first of all,
No. Please look for another definition.
I think
It
first
doesn't
of
relate
all,
to relationships, please. Second definition.
First of all, we're all trying to find compromise, right? Imagine you get into a relationship with somebody who I don't want to say snoring.
Snoring is.
That's easy. But someone who would never back down in an argument, for example,
Right.
no matter what you try, no matter what logic you bring on the table, in fact, if you decide to place cups and use oranges as examples, the person still wouldn't accept.
Yeah.
I don't even know
We're
if that's
first of
I
all
feel like
looking
except
for.
you like headache, that's not a situation for you.
First of
But would
all,
that be settling? So if you have to stay with that person, would that be settling or compromise?
That's settling and wickedness to yourself. Because why?
I think that becomes settling. At the first
Somebody
instance,
that's
you were
somebody you
trying to
cannot
compromise, but now you're like, you know what? Let's just settle.
No, don't settle for that one.
Don't settle in that case. You say no.
That's a very extreme
So
situation.
what if they tick other boxes? That's the thing. I always say that their priority lists, then you have your non-negotiables, right? I feel like if you're compromising on your non-negotiables, then you're settling.
See,
That's how I would define it.
I think I agree with that. So there's the list that has your wants, and there's the list that has your there's the list that has your needs, right?
Because this person needs to be negotiable. People will still be like,
no, there are some things that should never be negotiable.
Something makes me think that Dari has something cooking in his mind. He's just
Dari is love doctor. He always has something. He always has something.
Say something.
Dari is it's true. Dari is married though. Dari, to get married, did you have to settle or compromise? Am I putting you on the spot?
Someone
compromise,
had said
yes.
when people are
compromise,
married.
yes, because I mean, I think I went in with a mindset of knowing that we're both different, and even though I had a list of what I wanted years ago, and I just evolved. My mind evolved, and that's what I told my wife, that we're coming from two different backgrounds,
Right.
and we have two different ideologies, but let's just agree to disagree on certain things. There's certain things I know that you do. I mean, my wife's background is different from mine.
Yeah.
You know, and I just thought that, okay, we need to just have a compromise. The highest expression of love is sacrifice. So there are a lot of sacrifices I would have to make.
Right.
There are a lot of sacrifices she would have to make. And so far, she's made a lot of sacrifices herself. And she was actually way different from who she is now.
Yeah.
She had a different perception of our relationship.
Maybe she's settling.
You know, but let me give you an instance.
I'm kidding.
Let me give you an instance. For me, years ago, I wanted to date an Igbo chick.
I was going to say
You don't
Abani.
say.
I was going to say Abani there you go.
Yeah.
Abani's not
You
Igbo.
can put Brandy in that list too. but I had like a list of people I wanted to date. I had,
You actually had a list.
yeah, in my head, yeah. You know, in my head.
Men are on a different.
So yeah. In my head, okay, I want to date an Igbo chick. I want to date. I had my criteria, and at the point in time, I had to evolve. Well, when Igbo chicks broke my heart a lot, I said, okay, guy, you need to come and settle down. So for me and my wife, I would say we decided to say, okay, do you know what? There are a lot of things that we may not agree upon, but let's just agree to disagree. So I would say that's a compromise. Sometimes, I won't say it's settling.
Yeah,
and someone like me, for all my life, I don't think I ever settled, because there were instances where I've been under pressure to have gotten married like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I never did, because I knew that back in my mind, I didn't really love them. So let me give an instance. There's someone that came to my house and was crying that her mom was putting pressure on her, that she wouldn't.
And you were dating her?
Yeah. And I told her, I just told her that I didn't have that conviction. So me, even though I was sad that I couldn't be there for her, I knew that I didn't want to settle. I knew that I was going to be trapped in a cage. You can't keep an unhappy bird. And when you know it, you surely die. So I knew that for me, I couldn't settle. So Dari,
why were you dating that person?
Me.
Yes.
So
a bed in hand is what. So while you're hunting,
but
you hang on.
Yeah, so we had mutual respect for each other. We're dating. But I just felt that I hadn't gone to the level of me settling down with them or getting married to them.
Okay.
Like this leads me to another question. So you brought a very interesting word to the table now, because we've talked about compromise, we've talked about settling, and then there's a place of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right? So sacrifice is, I think, sacrifice should be swapped with compromise. I don't know if that would make you feel better. Right? Also, I was going to ask you, because you said you've settled in the past. What would you have to give up to admit to yourself that you're settling? Maybe I'd go first so that you'd understand my question.
Okay.
So in terms of things that, again, we're back to the list, right? Because I'm drawn to people, like I connect with people mentally.
Okay.
Right? And I feel like if I go into a relationship where I don't feel attracted to them in that way, I would be settling.
Okay.
Do you understand? So if I don't feel that connection to that person, that's me settling.
If you don't feel a mental connection to the person, you're settling.
So I can't have conversations, and I'm like, I like talking to you about every and anything. Then I'm just going to feel like I'm
settling. So would you say settling would be compromising your emotions for someone, and
it's not compromising your emotions,
but letting like you say,
it's compromising your true self. That's why.
Yes, that's it.
It's myself. Like I'm compromising what makes me happy. Like this is who I am. Like it wasn't by choice. right? That I'm mentally attracted to people. Some people are physically attracted, and that's all. Like, you just have to be right physically, and they're okay, right? That's how they are. That's not how I am. So if I have to go against that, and you're not doing it for me in that way, but I mean it's for other reasons, then I'm settling.
Yeah.
Even though you tick the other boxes, oh, he's a good guy, but he loves you, but he's providing for you, I will feel like I'm settling. Because I feel like I'm not maximizing myself in that way.
Yeah. That's definitely settling, because you lose yourself at some point.
Yes.
You lose yourself.
And I'm not attracted. So it's going to be forced.
Yeah.
Because guess what? That attraction translates to the sexual attraction to the physical. But that's the first point of call.
Transcends every other thing.
Yeah. So if I don't connect in that space, it's like everything else will be forced.
Yeah, I feel like if you're ever in a situation where you start to lose yourself, like, I don't mean drop one or two habits. I mean, like, lose the essence of yourself. Like you said, you like to be with somebody that you can talk to about many things, right? So if you're ever in a situation where you're with somebody and you feel like, let me keep quiet small because I don't want to have to tell this joke and explain it. Like, or you get all like, you get like, if you're ever in that situation, like, at some point, you consciously start keeping quiet, but then it just becomes a part of you. You just notice that even when you're not with that particular person, you're in a different scenario, you're just like, and then that's how it happens. You just start losing yourself slowly.
Yeah, and I think that now that we've said that, I feel like he rightly said actually from the beginning, I think we all settle one way or the other, because there are people that I know. They'll be like, you know what, let me not even bother telling you.
I mean, what can I say?
Because I might need to explain it.
I'm always thinking
right?
ahead.
And then you focus on the positives, because, I mean, because the conversation has gone full circle. You're like, you know what, he does it for me in other areas. So, like, why am I focusing on this?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like when you start to lose yourself, because there are other things you can compromise on that don't cause you to lose yourself. Like, let's say I want to date somebody that is 6'2". I want to get married to somebody that is 6'2" because I'm short, so I want my children to be tall, right? And then my spec comes and he's not 6'2", maybe he's like 5. Oh God, I cannot say 5'6". No. Maybe he's like 5'10", 5'11". Maybe he's like 5'11".
I'm 5'10".
How many shots are you shooting today?
Maybe he's like 5'11".
Right.
But he does it for me everywhere. Like, him being 5'11" doesn't take anything from
So what if he was
me
shorter
as a
than you?
person.
What if he was shorter?
He can't be shorter than me.
Wait, because 5'10" is still relatively tall because he's taller than you. So what if he was now shorter than you? But he does it for you in every other way.
He cannot do it for me because I'm not going to be physically attracted to him. He cannot do 5 what? I'm 5'3".
He cannot do it for you.
Not be like 5'1".
He cannot do it for you.
He should please get his heels.
That's
So hold on.
cheating.
So hold on. Let me even just combine these two conversations together. So let's assume. So how do you connect with people?
You have to be able to. Like, you have to be smart.
Okay, so let's assume, right? This guy, you start a conversation with this guy. Maybe you meet him online. You don't even know what he looks like, and you people start talking. And you're connected. And you're like, okay. I'm liking the vibe. I'm liking what I'm hearing. And maybe I even seen pictures. You can't even tell how tall or short this person is. And then you're already bonded to them. And then you now meet them.
See, the bond that we had before will go.
Whoa.
It will go. Because you want me to give birth to Maggie Q's. What do you want my children to look like? No.
This has raised a very important point to me. And this is how does your emotional attachment to someone disappear because of an event that took a day to happen? You might have taken 2 months, 1 year, 3
Have you ever
years.
heard someone say, I'm just turned off?
I have heard a story.
Yeah.
I have seen something practically. And that makes me wonder because I can't relate to it.
You can't relate.
I can't relate to it.
Oh my God.
Or being turned off.
The events of one day.
Right.
And it's something petty, like
height is not petty.
I give up.
Height is very non-negotiable.
Height is not petty.
Well, I'm just saying, somebody.
I feel you, but now what I would say is it probably doesn't. So you don't fall out of love, but guess what? A seed is planted.
You are turned off.
It's like, so for me, it might not even be instant, but it's just like, when you meet the person, it's like, you know what?
How can you spend 1 week, 2 weeks, 10 years, and all of a sudden, one day, okay, sorry, not 10 years, but at least let's be practical, 2 years.
Yeah.
And the events of one day can make you turn on your partner.
But of course now.
You're thinking about calling soldier for the person.
Of course course not.
calling
What are you saying?
bouncer.
If the person beats you, what are you saying? It's done.
That beating one.
It changes it.
I don't want to go into that beating
Any kind of
perspective,
abuse.
but I have a very specific example that makes me say this, because I was talking to someone I met on Trueflutter a couple of weeks back, and she says what ended her last relationship was the fact that she was in an argument with somebody who got frustrated, and then the person took the hand fan from her hand and she had it cut. And then the person being angry did not immediately respond to the fact that she had
she was bleeding.
very, very small cut and bleeding. And that was it for her. She called bouncer, she called soldier, she called everybody
To what exactly?
to come and beat up the guy now.
Because I'm trying to change, I don't think that I can say this now, that violence is the best way to handle this kind of situation. Violence for violence doesn't help. Thank God for
It's
change.
not a slap.
In that kind
It's
of
not a
situation,
kick.
I was about to say in that kind of situation, I don't think that he intentionally
Right.
wanted to
Okay, but it
injure
wasn't
her.
intentional, but how did he react to it? Because
Yes,
his reaction
but
to
his
it
reaction.
will probably have given off his intention.
I am totally not for that guy's
No,
reaction.
but then to be fair,
But then-
they were in the heat of an argument.
Well, yeah, that
to be
too.
fair.
And maybe he actually thought he made a mistake, because immediately after that event happened and he just shrugged it aside, it might be so difficult for him to now come back and be like, you're bleeding, I'm so sorry.
No.
You get-
What's that?
So maybe he had it in mind, but how can the other person?
Yeah, but I feel
Just-
like
Yeah,
that
her reaction was
probably
quite
went too
extreme.
far. That went too far.
Exactly. So who's the evil person now?
Both of them have their faults.
Soldier, army, bouncer.
I think that was extreme.
Yeah, that was a
extreme.
bit too
Because except she was done with that relationship, right? How do you come back from that?
I mean, even if you're done, like it
How do
doesn't
you
need
come
to
back
end in
from
a
it?
war.
So that would
Sure.
make me
That was
say
a war.
that would make me say that lady knows exactly what she was doing to that guy from the start. Because if she could just switch like that, then perhaps that guy was complaining from a place of pain.
Yeah. So was it the guy who called?
What?
Was it the guy who called you?
Who called me?
Yeah.
I wasn't the
It was-
bouncer.
No, what I'm saying is like what I mean is like how
Where
did you
did he
hear
get
about
the
the
story
situation?
from the
Was it
girl?
or from the
I
guy?
got the story from the girl.
Oh, from the girl?
Yes.
Oh, she admitted to calling.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
For some people, that's it now. You say, you don't know I'm mad. Well, okay. I will call.
I'll show you.
I'll show you. I'll call my boys. No. But then that's also, like what you talked about abuse here. I think that's another thing that is, it should be one of those things that you don't compromise. Like there should
non-negotiable.
be no settling or
non-negotiable.
non-negotiable, because no, they cannot be giving you basketballs now.
Remember,
Physical, emotional.
You see,
We don't
that's
talk
the
about.
old boy.
We don't talk
So-
about emotional.
Don't get me
enough.
started.
We don't talk about emotional.
Physical
enough.
abuse.
Yeah.
So what's
Physical-
your take on what's your take on physical and emotional abuse?
That's what I was going to say. Like nobody pays emotional abuse any attention.
And I think that is even worse than physical abuse.
Yes.
It's worse.
because they
All the
can beat you,
women
you
line
forget.
up here because I'm serious.
It is.
No. I'm being
Yeah.
objective because it's very easy. I mean, with physical abuse, there's evidence. You see the swollen eyes. and
Exactly.
But with emotional abuse,
Emotional abuse, mental abuse, gaslighting.
it's not tangible.
I feel like physical abuse is one of those things that you should never compromise on. If they are
never.
beating you, don't even beat back. Just
But see, that's the
leave.
thing. We only focus on physical. There's also emotional abuse because the scars aren't physical.
Yes.
Right. So I don't
Facts.
think it gets talked about enough. It's very underestimated.
Sure.
Like, yeah,
Sure.
all the ladies get in here. Y'all are pros, and all those, all those passive aggressive people.
Yes.
The worst.
Yes. Men. Those
Absolutely.
people are not right.
Yeah. Gaslighting and all of that. Jeez.
No, the absolute worst.
I'd actually just recently learned that word from BB. Gas and lighting, I mean.
I'm an advocate
People gaslighting.
because
You know what that is? It's like somebody shoving you into the fire. But it's like, it's very soft. Like, move, baby, move. Like,
And
slowly.
then you be like, it's
You're not
hot,
looking
oh,
crazy.
It's hot. You be like, the fire is hot. You'll be like, no,
You'll be like,
just
no,
go,
baby,
just
it's
go.
fine.
Then when you now enter the fire, and then people are like, why did you
They'll
see this?
just be there watching.
And you're like, this person that told me. The person be like,
How?
No, but
What-
how? When
what's-
did I tell you? Like, you're
evil.
mental.
Run.
I
No.
feel like Dari has something to say about what we are talking about right now. It looks like
Yeah, of course. I've been through a lot, so I would say I had the same experience too, and it was emotional abuse. I had to talk to a shrink. and it was a really bad experience. And that's when I realized that emotional abuse is even worse than physical abuse. And that's why I always tell people to watch the words they say to other people, because you're planting a seed and you don't know when that seed will germinate. If it's a seed of hatred, self-doubt, you shouldn't plant those kind of seeds into people. Even if they hurt you can just move on, but don't have to say bad things to them, even if you're in a relationship. So so that's my advice for them.
And words have a way of destroying. Like, I'm like, once upon a time in my life, I used to be very careless with my words. Like, I'll say whatever I want to say. I'm like, well, I love you at the end of the day, so I don't mean it. but I dated someone that took words very, very right. So that was when I realized that, oh wait, not everybody knows that, she loves me and she doesn't mean it.
Yes.
So that's something that I also had to learn.
No. Words are seeds. You can't. Yeah. Because for me, there's certain words, like, so if I'm in a space with a person, right, there's certain words I wouldn't, like, it wouldn't even come to me. And I feel like if I ever cross that line, that's it. I don't think that I'm ever coming back. If I ever cross those lines.
And okay, let me give you an example. I had a conversation with a childhood friend of mine. I had a very bad relationship about 20 years ago. We just had a heart-to-heart talk last week.
Oh, wow.
And he said he had trust issues for 20 years. He thought that because of the words those ladies spoke to him, he thought it was not good enough. And it's in the States, and he just told me, Dari, do you know why I've not gotten married? Because I've had trust issues, and because of those words those people said to me.
Wow.
So that's why.
So are we trying to say? Are we trying to say right now that the lady in question is reacting to something?
That's why she says the words that she says.
Yeah, that's why she called the bouncer.
Oh, that story.
Yeah. No, that's different. That was physical.
That was physical.
Exactly. We're taking the conversation to another different direction.
Since like KUNLE has something he'll like to chip in, because he's looking very restless.
Okay.
What?
You feel free. Come in. Join the conversation. You can come with your drink too.
Welcome to our podcast, KUNLE. You guys. This is KUNLE. He's a friend of the family.
Friend of family.
Hi, KUNLE. Welcome to our podcast.
You were looking like you had stuff to say.
A lot of stuff, actually. And I've been giggling there, listening to you guys. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
So apparently, for me, I see that conversation from different side of the coin. Most times when we hear issues like this, we look at it from one point of view. Right, and I try to paint the scenarios in different ways, right? One of the scenarios is that it's possible that the girl she's not just reacting to the incident that happened at that point in time, right? Maybe there are a couple of issues that happened before then, right? So she's just using that as an opportunity to vent her anger.
But what
that's why she brought war.
What if the situation?
In fact, bouncer, soldier, they
what if the situation were the other way around?
Yeah, it's possible. That's another scenario.
What if she's
always the other way around?
What if she's one gaslighting?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
See, there are some things I put into consideration. There's a way I analyze things, right? And I love to use Newton's law of motion, the 3, right? It said,
thank God I'm a scientist. I'll catch you.
Physicist.
Until an external force acts on it.
Yeah.
For every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. There's nobody born crazy. There's nobody that will just come and just react. Come on.
All right.
Almost some people are crazy.
I would hate to put the party.
Something. You just
but
put
I
them.
want to give.
You just put them in
our
that.
Triggers are different.
That's
but some people's triggers like.
Let me say something.
Need
I
you
agree with you, but the truth is, there's nobody, even
some people have no chill.
The so qualified cycle that have been qualified from whatever that this person is mad. You still need to trigger that person.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So the trigger would take that person to 100%.
Let me prove the party a little bit. Let me give a little more information, a little more insight to what we're talking about.
This exactly. Stop dropping small.
So let's not forget the fact that this is the lady side of the story. We haven't even heard the guy.
Yeah, true.
All right. Keeping that in mind, the said lady said to me, this guy, if there was such a thing, would have been the best man for me.
But
to use fan to enjoy your hand. She's not wise.
hold on. I'm still coming there. So the young man in question is one who lives something I would not do. He shares a flat, a 2-bedroom flat with another guy. A neighbor, yes.
okay.
Also, the guy has roommates, housemates, something
he has
like that.
a housemate.
Oh, okay.
And the girl is dating someone who lives with another guy. So that's to say that there is.
Oh, it's complicated.
Aha.
Wait, she has a male flatmate.
Why should it be complicated? Her boyfriend has a flatmate.
Then she's living with who?
No, she's not living with anybody.
So
she's
so
visiting.
What's wrong with
So
him
what's
having
the
a
issue?
flatmate?
No, hold on.
Okay.
Someone else, not even the boyfriend now, right?
No, wait. Basically, what he just said is that what he introduced his story is that the boyfriend has a flatmate, but he has not landed.
I've not landed yet.
Okay.
All right. So whenever there's a disagreement between these two, rather than stay in her space with her guy to solve the situation, she goes to a general space, right? And that's fine. You can go to clear your head. But when you go and start laughing, why did you move?
Laughing how?
When you go and start laughing with your boyfriend's flatmate, when things are intense between you and your boyfriend.
That's just disrespect. That's no.
I mean,
And she's petty.
you're laughing out loud.
So that's the word.
She's petty.
Petty.
All right.
No. But you guys, come on now. Like it's
Call your best friend.
emotional play.
Call your best friend.
I'm still
So
not
she's
sure.
messing with his emotions. Right?
Yes.
So
Exactly.
it's like so she's using the other guy
to make her boyfriend feel some type of way.
further upset.
Now, said lady.
It's very childish. I'm sorry. I think
Yes.
she's very mature.
Yes.
That's pretty
lady-
much what it is.
Said lady also confirmed that the other guy was hitting on her.
All of them are disrespectful. All of them, that situation. In fact,
I'm
They all
just
need
trying
to
to.
grow
I'm just trying to create a mental
No,
picture of
but
what's
then-
happening.
yeah.
Yeah, so
but-
it's also what we're talking about. I think it sits in the space of emotional abuse.
There wasn't any relationship.
There wasn't any relationship.
Thank you.
I mean, not avoid.
I would agree.
Contract, the breach of contract.
I would agree.
That was
They're kids.
situationship, not relationship.
Yeah, I would
Thank
agree.
you. Now you get what
They're
I mean.
not. They're not mature.
What made me bring up this point and like from the very beginning was when I talked about how is it possible that you love somebody,
And you're
then
able
all
to
of a sudden
switch, yeah.
one day one thing happens and you're calling bouncer, mopo, everything.
I think that
Our
the word
own
love
case
is even
it's out of the window,
misused
but
a
that
lot.
possibility is 100%.
But these are the sort of people we have to deal with every day.
Who is we? I beg go.
See, see, I share this school of thought that, right, you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
Do you understand? You attract your like.
Your kind.
Your kind.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So, the guy in the first instance, if this kind of story is being given to me and I need to investigate, I will investigate the guy first. Because number one, what are you doing with that kind of girl?
How is it you have your men?
He settled.
He fell in love.
He settled.
He settled.
He
He settled.
He fell in love. So he was focusing. Most times you want to look at it, right? He was focusing on other areas and ignoring other key areas.
Maybe
So
she
yes,
did it
that-
for him in other areas, like
Yeah.
And you don't want to know.
Then there's another thing that I would say that this Gen Z and the millennia, right? I would say that unfortunately the society had failed them. They've exposed them to all kinds
I was
of.
coming to
Wait,
that
so
next.
who's a millennial? Are you Gen Z? You're Gen Z, aren't you?
I don't even know
the most
what.
recent one.
You're the most recent one.
Yes.
X.
Have we reached it? No.
Isn't
X is X not our parents?
What are we talking about?
I don't know where.
So I feel like I
wait,
don't
but
know,
there's a debate on where it starts and where it ends.
Right.
Right. So some people
So what
say
is it called?
Some
People
people
does
say
have
if
mental
you're
check of it actually.
What's
What's
it?
it?
Gen, what is it?
The 90s are the older ones.
90s are
The older
Millennials. No, so 80s, 90s, millennials.
millennials. Then these people.
Gen Z.
Gen
From
Z.
93, 95.
Is it 5? Is it 7 or is it 5?
I'm
That's
not
another
sure.
thing that is like, do they start from 1997? Does it start from 1998?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I actually wanted to say something about why I mentioned Gen Z and the millennial. The truth is, they've been indoctrinated badly, unfortunately. So most people, they don't really know the essence of love, relationship, and infatuation. So most times they find themselves in a situation and they believe they're in love. You understand?
This table.
Those words
This
were. He
So,
entered.
but how do you know though? So, see, that's the thing, because I feel like all of these things are stages.
How do you know?
So, how do you know when it's crossed from infatuation to love?
Place, you see, that's the point. There's an
How do you-
when you find
there's
yourself
an
wanting
handshake.
to sacrifice, like
There's an handshake.
there's a level of sacrifice imagine you have like 5k in your account, and the person that you are infatuated with needs 4-5, and you yourself, as you're all right, you're like, let me just from this 5k send this person 4-5. You are most likely falling in love.
So if you
Because-
don't send
But
that, so
both
if,
of
so if you
them
don't, so
actually
if you
do.
don't send that 4-5, does it mean you're not in love?
No, not if you don't
You can
send
be
like the fact that you
infatuated
even have
and
that
send all
thought.
the
If
money.
I'm just
Okay.
if I'm just
Okay, so it
smashing
comes with the
somebody, I'm
thoughts.
not thinking of which kind of what. Sorry, sorry. It's only
So it comes
sorry.
with thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think the way I say it is, number one, the initial stage is infatuation.
Yes.
That's the first stage.
Of
And
every relationship.
everything.
Yeah.
And the truth is,
Dari, would you
at
agree with that?
Yes, now because you don't see my personality first.
Dari, do you agree with that?
It's the packaging. So you fall, you're
I do.
infatuated with the package.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I agree with that. I was just being petty.
God.
And at that point in time, right? Because like the school of thought rightly said, infatuation and love, they are siblings. They behave alike. One just have a longer duration. Gestation period of one is longer than the other.
Which one?
Love stays longer. It endures. That's why you can have all those.
I think love is a
characteristics
choice.
of love.
Yes,
Right.
I agree.
You have to continue to choose that
It's
person
it's
over
what- love
and
is
over and
intentional.
over. Exactly.
But I think
Intentional.
infatuation ends when
Love starts.
I don't
No,
think
no.
infatuation should end too.
no infatuation
Yes.
ends when there's nothing that's when there's nothing
no
that's
grip.
no like
There's no substance.
if there's nothing pushing it, like if you don't have a reason to love the person and you're
Infatuation
infatuated,
So where does this reason come from? Do
And
you,
you're
do you
infatuated,
generate
it will
the reason,
end.
or does the person?
you
Where
know,
does this reason
because-
come from? Is it from
because
you?
I can help you love me even if you're infatuated by
Say that one more time.
I was
For the
also
people at
already-
the back.
I can help you love me even if you're infatuated. Do you understand? So you're infatuated. That can end if there's no response from our own end. If you have infatuation from your own end, like if you're infatuated with me and I don't respond, then it might end.
No.
I don't know. Maybe I've had too much wine.
You've not heard. You've not heard.
It's doing my head in. Like
No,
it's a
do you
wine.
understand? No,
You've not heard
it's
rejection breeds
I
obsession.
understand what Dari is saying.
Do you
but
understand?
Infatuation, senior brother, is called obsession. So it
Yes.
doesn't end.
There's that.
Rejection breeds obsession.
Please,
So the more you reject a person, the
do you have
more.
an Oxford dictionary? Stuff?
You know the relationship. There's cousin and there's older brother.
The truth is, infatuation is tangible, love is intangible. Do you understand? When you are infatuated, there's a driving force.
Yeah.
There's a desire that you look towards. But when that desire stops, when it fizzles out, that's when that person becomes, for example, most times guys are infatuated sexually. They just see a big butt or what have you, and they just, this girl,
It's not
blah,
what
blah,
have
blah,
you.
blah, blah. And when they get to that point, either they achieve their aim or they get frustrated achieving the aim. Either ways, right? They lose interest at that point in time. But meanwhile, some pursuing that, they now discover the personality of that person. They now
Yes,
fall in
and then
love
they
with
fall in
it.
love with the person.
So infatuation is usually the gateway.
Yes. So love starts when infatuation ends.
Yeah.
So it's just a continuation.
So that's what Dari was saying. Like,
Yeah, I
you
was
give
about
people a
to-
reason to decide if the infatuation ends or is going to grow into love. I guess that's what Dari was trying to say.
Yeah.
So
But
you
like
give
you
me a
said,
reason.
there's no point where, like, where's
For
the
me, I
point
don't
where
think
it
infatuation
happens?
should end. Like, so it's like how they say there are three loves. There's agape, there's filio, there's what's the other one? I'm not sure.
The other one.
I feel like, yeah, the other one. I feel like all three should exist in the same space. So if I'm in love with you, I want to be infatuated with you. Like, I want to lust after you, which is
Come
the
on
filio.
now.
Yeah, and I have to like you.
I have to see you and be like,
I'll change your surname to Oliver Twist.
Yes.
So all three should all three should exist. So
Yes.
if I love you, agape is like I'm committed to you. It's like there's no reason, but this is a commitment. I'm trying
I've
to be
chosen
with you.
to commit to
I'm
you,
here.
yeah.
So either way, I'm dealing with it. But guess what? The lust factor should still be there,
Yes.
which is the infatuation. I still want to lust after you.
Please do.
I still want to be crazy about it.
I think love is a superset So he has all of these things that is subset in it. Yes. So when you're in love with somebody, it naturally makes you to have that endless commitment. It makes you to naturally want to be
I don't think it's natural.
With the person.
See, it's too intentional.
It's extremely intentional.
But natural is your feelings. So at that point, it's no longer your feelings.
You see, when you repeat an act, according to the psychologist, when you repeat an act for 12 days consecutively, becomes an habit.
It's 21 days, but I heard that is not even facts.
It's actually 12 days.
I heard that it's actually not factual.
It is. The reason why most people, they mistake that statement, they say continuously.
For 12 days.
For that, like you're doing it every day. Your system get used to it. So same with love, right? When you love somebody, at the beginning you are intentional.
Right.
It becomes an habit.
Yes.
So that's when you see some people like, what's he doing with this guy?
Yeah, and they're old and they're still holding hands, and you're like, because it's become a part of their life.
Because it's now.
And then when you break up, you have like addiction, withdrawal
exactly.
symptoms.
So there's no, you're not being deliberate anymore.
Yeah, it's
because
just that become you.
Being deliberate is a work, and when you look at work done, there's a distance.
Yeah.
Do you understand? With time.
Yeah.
And meaning, if there's a distance, there's termination.
Okay, I see what you did.
Meanwhile, there's no love with termination.
He brought physics in there.
Yeah.
Do you get? So
physics in there.
it goes. Love doesn't have an end. So when you are not deliberate, then there's an end.
Yeah.
I
don't agree with that part of what you said.
Yes.
No. So what he's saying is, you're deliberate at the beginning, and then with time, it's like your car goes on auto.
It's on auto.
Yes, so it becomes a way of life. So yeah, we go on dates. Like I'm not intentionally fixing dates. Like it's us. We go on dates.
So you're saying when it ends,
so I'm not thinking like it's like we're walking. I'm reaching out for your hands. Your hands are there because it has become us.
If it's deliberate,
it has become. We found our rhythm,
and it doesn't go to that point of being auto cruise. Then it's no longer love. Because
if it
continues on that auto cruise, then it's love. It's just like this. You set your alarm 7 a.m. Your alarm will keep waking you up 7 a.m. Now, guess what? The day something happened to your phone, maybe in between the battery dies, you wake up 7 a.m.
Yeah, your body will still wake you up. Sometimes you might wake up 6
even before. Yeah.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Now,
so
that's how it
it's
is.
Auto kick.
I don't know that that's how it works when it has to do with a second person, because at some point you're going to have to be deliberate again. Because let's say, I don't want to use Darren's wife because it's too close to home. Let's say somebody and their wife, let's say somebody is attracted to his wife, like physically, heavily, and then maybe she gives birth and then her body changes. He's going to deliberate, like he's going to have to be deliberate about.
There's a missing point there.
Okay, what am I missing?
The missing point is being deliberate is not the love. The being deliberate, she mentioned something,
part
and
of
I said
the
the subset. Exactly. So the subset, part of the elements of love, right, is that being infatuated. You have to constantly
work on that.
Yeah, but you said that.
But the love you have to
constant. If you have to,
the love is.
Oh, you're saying the love factor is always
constant. That man that is complaining about the shape of the wife is not ready to trade the wife for something.
You're not
else.
even thinking about it anymore.
I get what you're saying now.
You do not need anything to keep on attracting you to this person, because you've chosen.
Yeah, it's a choice.
Constant. It is there. If the morning sun comes or it doesn't come, if like whatever, you're there for me.
So you've
I'm
just
there
chosen
for
the
you.
person.
Yes. It's what else does the day have to bring? That
We'll
becomes
yeah.
So I get it. And that's actually my school of thought, as regards love. Every other thing doesn't really count. Like nothing should dissociate you guys. You've picked each other out of the very many cups on this table, in the drawer, in the bookshelves of the supermarkets and everything. You said, I want this.
Nature, or that was you, or that was
what?
was that nature? Was that you?
It's you.
Or that was a God factor?
The choice.
Maybe
I think
I feel like the perfect mix would be all three.
So many responsibility on God.
I was just about to say, do you guys think that there's one person for, like you now, there's one person for Cynthia?
I do not.
Or you find somebody that you love and then you carry the person that God is wise. So as in,
I don't think there's one person for anybody.
Put so many responsibility on God. And I always say this, God can do everything. There's some things that God will not do.
Yeah, I feel like God will never defy the laws of nature because of one person.
What God said who finds, there's a word there, find, meaning there's a looking.
Yes.
Yes.
So there's this joke my pastor gives. So he says, remember when Adam fell out, right? And then, when he ate the apple, and then of course he went hiding, and then God found him. I was like, what happened?
It's the wife you gave me.
It's the woman you gave me. He said, since then,
God not give anybody.
he said, he will find. So I'm no longer giving wives. Everybody go and find their wives. Yeah. So the perfect mix, like you asked, like where does it come from? Is it nature? Is it God? And what was the third one?
Or is it you?
Is it you? I think.
It's you.
What do you think is a sweet middle?
It's you.
I think it's you.
Because
So it's like when it's you now justify the God in it, because it's like, God, you make me feel this way about this person, so you must be in it. Abi?
I think the major reason why
Right?
God doesn't meddle with emotions, people's emotions and all that.
Yeah.
So
It lets you.
if we say, God, let me love this girl, you're just on a long thing.
Yeah, true.
Give me the heart to love this girl.
No.
He won't interfere.
Yeah. He's already giving you
Everything you need.
So he's made you the way you are. So he's made you attracted to the kind of things that you're attracted to. So if you find that person and there's a connection, boom.
Right.
And is there one person for everyone? I don't agree. I don't agree.
the reason why we have
Because for every part, there's a spare part. Right? So
but that analogy now makes it seem because
no,
spare part
the
is
same
never.
factory made it. Same factory made it. Right?
Okay,
So if this doesn't work, well, I have a spare.
the other one will work.
Same, made from the same company.
So does that mean that the original is the original? Like there's an original?
No, it's just the one that we fit in the car at the time. They're all originals made by the same company. So I don't think there's a one person
One
for
person
everybody.
for everybody. Yeah.
I feel like we just
over spiritualized things.
no. Especially when you're in a, and that's why a lot of people have a scarcity mentality when it comes to relationships.
Yes.
So
Like
even
men are
when-
running out to hurry up.
No. So there's a
going.
place for working on your relationship. I'm not saying when things go start to jump out, right? But still, if you
It
do not
depends
have
on
a-
it depends on how south they go. There are some souths that you just
South.
move. Doesn't do
out.
In fact.
So I would say work on your relationships. You understand? Like the things that you should work.
But also know when to
But never
work,
have a-
work
have-
on
never have a-
yourself before you work on the relationship.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You nailed it.
And a lot of people don't do that.
I said something at the beginning of when I came on board. I said you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
You attract your like. Tricked. Because most times I want to love you. How much have I loved myself? Do you understand? Do I even understand what love itself is?
Yeah.
Right? So where am I coming from? So most people in relationship, they focus on the physical. And I tell them physical, it's something that the internal, the emotional will bring naturally. You don't need to force it.
Yeah.
Right? You would even enjoy it better.
Yeah.
Because it becomes natural.
Yeah.
The physical now would now be transformed to being natural. So you now have two natural in the equation.
Yeah.
Perhaps we
I
don't,
think-
we don't know these things these days because there is nowhere to learn from.
Now that's why I said
No, but
Gen
then there
Z
is.
and the millennial.
There is.
We've voluntarily
Where?
failed.
There
them.
is.
How?
It's supposed to be your parents. It's supposed to be the people that would I say the elderly?
When
that you
your
that
parents,
you can learn.
hold on. When your parents are busy chasing you with cutlass.
See, ideally, that's why there are elders in society. Even what was that thing about? There was something in the Bible about bring something to the elders if it doesn't work. Like if you don't work, you bring it to the like that's the place of the older people in society, right? We're supposed to see what they're doing,
But do we
they're
have that
supposed
now?
to get it right.
Do we have that? Do we have people modeling?
We do not.
We don't.
Do we have people modeling?
Social media.
Healthy relationships?
Thank you.
No, because healthy relationships are not as broadcast as relationships are failing. And again, because of social media, there are so many concepts that are absolutely wrong. But because it's popular,
What would you say
because-
one of them is? Because there's one that I struggle with so much that I don't even like to talk about it because it's like
Please do.
a low voice in the
Which one?
wilderness. Let me
Which one?
And I think it's a Nigerian thing, right? So a lot of times I just look at people dating and I'm just like, it's very sad. The Nigerian dating scene is very sad.
It is
Where it's like, oh, you like me? Ask for my account number.
Really?
I struggle strongly with it.
A lot of
if
people
you
do
like me,
that.
ask for my
You
account
hear it a
number.
lot on social media now. Like, if you like, you send me money, my mom.
Have you been on
I
that?
think
People say it's cruise, but it's not.
See, for the people that tweets things, right? For many of them, it's cruise, but then people take it to peak.
It has become.
I think social media is even worse than TV.
That's what's up,
It's
innit?
worse.
Of course.
It's worse because
than
every
TV.
Tom, Dick, and Harry has an opinion. I feel like the opinion must be valid.
Okay, you know what I say regarding
It's worse,
social
you're
media.
right.
Social media is not worse, right?
Than TV.
It's not.
It is.
It's
not.
less control.
Why? Because you
I'll
spend
tell
more time on your
I think
phone
it's more
than you
obvious.
spend more time watching TV.
I'll tell you. Most times we look at
Physical
things,
breakdown.
we look at things in isolation. If we go back in the 80s, right? Guys in the 70s will tell you TV is worse than newspaper. Do you understand?
Because that made it visual
Because
for the
it's
first time.
visual. Then they are used to papers. They read newspapers. Now they are seeing, and the Chinese believe that what I see, I experience, right? And what I experience, I do. So the journey to actualizing things is faster with visual, right?
Yeah.
So, but there's a way it was being managed during that era, right? But what I always say, right, is there's a saying in Yoruba that when you tie corn around your waist, right, you are the one looking for the trouble of the end, because the end will start chasing you. What you bring to social media, at that point you are being deliberate. There's an action there. You brought it to social media.
So you're saying keep your relationship off social media?
That's it.
I feel like whether you keep it or whether you post it or they'll still put sign inside your Gary. What is spoiled is spoiled.
I'm on the fence about that.
Nobody will
I'm on the fence
Keep
about that.
your relationship. I mean, I agree with him. Keep
I'm
your
on the fence
relationship
about that
off.
keeping or not keeping.
Why?
So people make it seem like there's
social media
there's
was
a witch
yeah.
sitting on social media that once your relationship comes there, poof, it
Because
whittles.
I don't believe it.
I don't think that's what it is.
I think it depends on how much you're sharing.
I even say even if you are sharing that we are happy, we're in love, we're doing all of that. What I feel like for me, the downside to it is the pressure that it puts on the relationship in the sense that when things don't work, you're not like, we've gone public, right? So there's a pressure to keep it. And it's the same pressure that comes with people knowing that you're in a relationship. I don't think social media in itself is the problem. I don't agree with that mindset.
It is.
Let me tell you why.
I don't agree with that
Let me tell you
mindset.
why it is, Cynthia.
I don't agree.
So if you buy a house, and you put it up on social media, right? And there's backlash, people are saying this, they're saying that, it's your house, right? It has everything to do with you. Relationship is two people. You can manage it. What about your partner?
Let's say both of them can manage this. But
That's you assuming. People always have their breaking points. And from man
What's
A
the
to man
breaking
B,
point?
right? The way you handle that's the issue. When you're having a relationship with someone and you assumed on behalf of that person, that's you assuming.
Wait,
Because
so-
men naturally, let me even come from the point of the guys.
Yes.
Ego. I won't expose my breaking point to you. I will let you feel I can handle it.
I would.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so wait.
Most times, guys.
Is this a
don't.
Nigerian thing?
No, I'm talking about generally. Look at it, even abroad.
Because I felt pressured to be public about a relationship,
Really?
right? Yeah. That I didn't want to be public about. But again, because... And then at that point, I asked myself, why do I not even want to be public about this relationship? Because I'm Nigerian and it's a cultural thing. The person didn't understand my culture. He didn't understand my village witches and all. Do you understand? So he went ahead to be public about it. And because he did, and then it was a long distance relationship by the time, I now felt pressure that, okay, maybe I had to do the same because there was no way I was going to explain it to him to get. But even me, at that point, I questioned myself, like, why do I even now want to be, why do I want to be private about it?
But why do you want to be public too?
I feel like there's a difference between keeping a relationship private and a relationship being a
Are they your
secret.
friends?
Exactly, Derek.
Yes,
Are they your
yes,
friends?
yes.
There are a lot of people following you. Say that you don't know half of them in person.
Listen. So for this
even
person,
3/4 of
that's
them.
me. For him, the people who,
You know?
who are following him are his friends and family strictly, right? I'm the one who has more people following me.
I think
And
we've
the same for other people.
defined going public with to mean bringing our relationship to the internet. That's what we've defined. Going
Okay.
public.
So they're being private and keeping you private. That's another conversation.
I'm keeping you a secret.
Keeping you a secret.
Nobody knows.
Are you a
you.
private person or are you keeping me a secret? That's another conversation entirely. But I don't agree, because I mean, you've had relationships, yes, where people come on social media, they're public about their relationship. 2 months later, it ends. But guess what? There are people who have been there.
But why is there?
People now make it seem like, oh, it was the witch sitting on social media.
No, but Cynthia, why is there such a shame with a relationship ending? So what? We didn't work out. All right, let's move on. Like, what's the?
Why do they make it seem?
Why
like
is it shameful?
So it's social media that ended it. Whatever ended that relationship could have ended it either way.
Period.
That's what I feel.
I think these two ladies are now connecting.
But you put pressure on yourself
How?
when you have people having different
It's in
opinions
Nigeria
about
because
your
first of all,
relationship.
Nigerians. Huh?
Why?
Say that one more time.
I mean, you post about your relationship in public.
Okay.
On the social space, and
Yeah.
people will complain. Will talk about it, right?
Okay.
Do you understand? I mean, why? Why is it? Okay, why is it important to put yourself out there?
It's not important, but if it's something I want to do,
it's like something she said, right?
Why?
When she talked about elders are the ones who have to model how love and family and relationships should be. And I said, do we have good models for relationships? Are the elders doing a good job of modeling relationships? No. Because we're getting so much negativities. Why are the people in healthy relationships not talking about it?
But yes,
it just seems like there's too much negativity. If you go to social media,
relationships.
this one be this one fought, that one that. There's too much negativity.
Yeah.
Why aren't we pushing? Because again,
good relationships don't have
it's like
good
faith
PR.
and fear. The more faith comes with hearing, fear comes with hearing. So if you're promoting all the negativity, guess
You know
what?
what?
People are going to be scared. The young generation that are looking up to you are going to be scared of these marriage things. Like,
have you noticed
it's like
how
this thing doesn't
how
work.
many of these younger people are like, no, I don't want to get married.
Many of them are saying,
Situationship. This one, I'm like,
because that's all you people are pushing.
I think these days is in such a way that we are all learning about relationship. Now we're all students.
how? I don't mean how, but like I mean we're learning. Like how the elders
We're all
are
learning.
learning.
The elders are learning. The kids are learning.
Yeah, but they have more experience. They're the ones that can tell you that, see, when you're talking to a man, you cannot just be insulting him. Men have pride. Okay, do it this way. You see, that time when I was talking to your grandfather and then, do you understand? Like, those are the things that
are they doing it that way, though?
That's why it has worked for them. Like, I'm not talking about just random relationship.
I'm talking about the now.
So.
Now, right now, in the relationship space,
Yeah.
everybody is learning.
I feel like we're constantly learning.
Because relationship and marriage is a black market. Nobody has gone there.
I feel like we're all learning. I've learned so much this year, more than I knew last year, and I feel like every year,
Yes, and
I
that's-
learn more about myself. Because guess what? You're different people. As you grow, you're becoming different, and you're growing, and you're developing in different areas, right? And you're meeting people. And that relationship is changed. Even the relationship that you had, if you married somebody 10 years ago, it's not the same relationship people had 10 years ago that you have now. Because you're growing and you're morphing that relationship into what it is that can accommodate both of you at the time. So it's a constant learning. It doesn't stop. It doesn't end.
So the initial
So the awareness I have of myself now is different from the awareness I had of myself 5 years ago.
The initial question was, why is it that there are no relationships that let me not even say we are the we're the people who are supposed to be advising the younger ones.
Everybody's learning, Advise me too.
That is the point. Everybody's now learning. So there's nobody.
Even the pressure.
You meet a 45-year-old person, not married, learning, saying, I don't want to go into a relationship because
Do you know another angle?
Separate prayer.
Another angle to this whole thing is that people really ready to
people
learn.
are dealing with traumas. Dari, you just mentioned a friend who, after 20 years of something he heard,
But why
See,
is
that
this-
trauma,
So people are going
that
through
trauma
trauma.
is a whole different
Do you
Why is it
understand?
that?
So
Why is it that?
your healing lasts as long as it
Some
does.
is clearly not
Village people there.
Why is it that we can't
Now
just
village
put a
people
cap on
can't
this
take
thing? Like, this is how a
responsibility.
relationship is supposed to work.
Because there's no
They
one
don't
size
finish,
fits all.
that's why.
There's no one size fits all.
You're
They don't
growing.
know finish.
You're 19 years old today.
You know the reason why you can't keep a cap on it?
Why?
Because God that made man uniquely.
But then that unique man is succeeding in business 5 years from now.
Because there's a one size fits all. There's a strategy to business.
Why is
there
there
are
not a
certain
strategy
things
for relationship?
because people
No,
are
'cause they're two
different and they
people.
have
Guess
different
what?
relations,
Human beings are
different
unstable.
experiences.
People are unstable.
Yes.
But relationship can also be.
When you're talking about business, just
For a second
It
there.
can also be.
For a second there.
When you start a company with someone, don't
Cynthia
you
was
write
talking to me.
agreements?
Kunle was talking to me. Daria was looking at me, and you were looking at me. I was hearing a lot of voices, like the voice of God and angels and demons at the same time. I think this is just the perfect analogy of what relationship is today. We do not know who to listen to, our conscience, what is right, who is wrong, who has succeeded. Nothing. Like, we don't have there's no benchmark.
And let me tell you,
and then we're
I
living
think
in
because there's a
time
lot of
where-
aspire to perspire.
Yes, exactly. That's
People
what
are
I'm
not
saying.
honest
People
about
are not
what they're
being
really going
honest.
through.
People are not ready to sit down and have
People
like
paint a picture that they want people to believe, but that's not the reality.
Yes, like
That's the problem. So you can look at a marriage from outside and you're like, wow, I want what these people have. Right? Because there's a perception that they've created of what their marriage or their union looks like.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, he's retired. You're not like, how do I know them? When they've been together for 20 years, that man has only been with his wife, or they only have 2 children. I'm gonna let that man die now.
or let that
You're
woman
not father
talk.
that there are 3 children outside somewhere.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Or somebody has stepped out of the marriage because people are not honest.
Exactly, and then
that's the truth.
social media is not ready for people to be honest, because I don't know if you remember when Aka and Claire posted that video about how they had issues when it came to breastfeeding their child, and then people were like, keep your business on social media, we don't want to hear this. There was a particular couple that spoke about this thing for like a week. A couple, the guy was speaking about his own on his own platform. The girl was speaking about talking about how, Aka and Claire, they don't understand that. Open letters, Aka and Claire, this one, that one. And I'm like, every day you post yourself, your husband, your children on social media, people are always happy. Are you telling me that you guys don't have issues?
Come on.
So because Aka and Claire posted the reality,
Posted their struggles.
I never knew anything. I never knew that breastfeeding could be an issue in a relationship until they spoke about it. And now I have knowledge on it. But then social media is not ready. Like, we're not ready for the honesty that we're asking for.
People paint a picture. It's like, we're happy. And again, you can't blame.
But I think for me, it's more of our society and what we've been indoctrinated with. That's who we are as a race, right?
People just like being fake and putting their best foot forward.
If you dovetail back to the 70s, 60s and the likes, right? You will see where they will tell you that, look, whatever happens stays in our house.
Yeah.
Don't go out.
True.
So
that's why people have uncles that were raping them when they were younger, but then we can't have that conversation because...
So that's who we are. So now, changing it is like we want to start another Biafran war.
But it started.
Right. So, but unfortunately, right, and the way I see relationship, and that's what I say when it comes to relationship, your relationship is unique to the people involved.
Yeah.
Relationship A can never be the same with B.
There's no one size fits all.
Because we have different background. If you're comparing yourself with 36 years relationship or marriage, check. Maybe the guy's from a functional home, the lady's from a dysfunctional home, or they're both from functional homes. Then your own relationship, you didn't even know your dad. Do you understand? So there's those nitty-gritty which are very important.
Yeah.
Because, for example, imagine a guy that grew up in a family that he didn't even know his dad, and is a guy and supposed to be the head of a house at the end of the day. Doesn't even know how a father should act.
Yeah.
So
or how to be a husband.
How to be a husband.
Right.
Like, he wants to compare with someone that knows there's a daddy that will go in the morning and come back in the evening. So the first thing to make any relationship work is, number one, identify your purpose. Why are you in that relationship? When you identify your purpose, that will be your driving force. Because that purpose is what would keep you all through.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, for example, some people, you see some that say, I just want to marry this person for procreation and person can take care of me. There's nothing you can do about it. That's his purpose. Or that's our purpose, rather. Do you understand? While some will tell you that they want to be free, right? And they want to be loved. Regardless whatever comes with it. They are getting that. So when you have that, you hold on to it and you go to the market or you go to whatever with it.
Go
and
shopping.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I think.
Right. Okay. So we have to end this episode because we're running out of time. But yeah, I think we have to do like a part 2 or something, because there's so many things. There's so many topics we started that we didn't finish.
There's so much.
But at this point, we're going to have to end the episode. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today. Thank you for KUNLE. Thank you, KUNLE. Thank you, CYNTHIA.
Thank you for having us. This was so much
Dari.
fun. Dari, you should invite us again.
You're right. We'd love to have you guys again. So yeah, to our listeners, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, if you enjoyed this episode, please share, leave us a comment, drop your comments on every single part of this episode. The part that you want to add, the part that you wish you were here to add, drop it in the comment section. Yeah, if you've not yet downloaded Trueflutter, download the Trueflutter app. And till I come your way next time, my name is Bibi, and if you're looking for true love, download Trueflutter. Bye.